They've got to step up big here tonight. In the game one with the win, they get 57 points. In game two, you see that they only had 27 points. If they combine for in the 40s, everything will take care of itself. Second, the defensive rebounding and overall rebounding. A minus 19 in game two, a loss. Now, that has cost them 30 points. So just clean that up, take care of the defensive boards, everything will be fine.
Derrick Rose has carried the Bulls to the best record in the NBA this year. Question is he carrying too much of a burden in these playoffs?
Well, I don't think so, Mike, because that's his game. He's the team leader here. They feed off of his energy. You can see the 24-5 points. It's very impressive. 27 shots, maybe too many. And the area is the three-point shooting. He's taking 7 a game, only shooting 20%. That's got to improve. Get to the foul line more than 6 times. And then the turnovers, 5.5 a game. Too many for a guy as good as he is.
And Luol Deng, a very important part for what Chicago's done all year, playing a lot of minutes. Will he be able to keep that point total up? And then maybe the key to game 3, the guys who play the 4 position and both wear number 5. Carlos Boozer for Chicago, booed at home, 7 points under his average. And Josh Smith, who scored only 1 basket from outside of 5 feet. The storylines of game 3 from Atlanta. First, Hannah Storm in the studio. Down Atlanta, Georgia for game 3 between the Bulls and the Hawks. Let's check our Popeyes starting lineups here tonight. Teams even at a game apiece, and the Bulls start the same unit with the MVP Derrick Rose, Keith Bogans 9 points in the series, Luol Deng, Boozer struggling with the toe injury, and Joakim Noah. Meantime, for the Hawks, Jeff Teague has stepped in for the injured Kirk Hinrich and done a very good job. 1 turnover in the series, joining Joe Johnson, Marvin Williams, who scored only 4 points in game 2, Josh Smith, and Al Horford. For more on the MVP and his injury, here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Mike. Well, you know, Derrick Rose is certainly not one to make any excuses. So if you ask him how his left ankle is doing, he's going to say it's just fine. But he continues to receive all-day treatment on an ice stim, different medications. He told me there's still some swelling, but not really much pain. So at this point, he said he believes it's mental. I asked him what he means by that, and he said, you know, I might be playing just a little bit tentative because I know how I play, and I don't want to get up in the air like I do and land on it wrong. He said, when I re-injured it in game 1, I really thought I had messed it up, but the training staff got me ready to play. I've just got to trust that it's okay and play the way that I normally do. Mike?
Well, it's been 27 shots, Lisa, as Hubie said in the open. In game 1, as Rose struggled with the number of shots, nobody picked him up. Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford had all those points, and game 1 went to the Hawks in Chicago by 8, but in game 2, Rose set an early tone, was aggressive. Joakim Noah came along with 19 and 14. And to be honest, game 2 was moderately unwatchable. Both teams missed 51 field goals. The defense was good, but the offense wasn't very good. Let's see what happens here in game 3.
Well, I think for Atlanta, Mike, their front line, meaning Williams, Smith, and Horford, they've got to step up. They are only shooting 30% between them for the first 2 games. Now, Joe Johnson and Crawford, they need some scoring help.
Greg Willard, Mark Davis, Ron Garrettson are officials here in Atlanta for game 3. Josh Smith, Joakim Noah set for the tip. Next 28 hours, we've got 4 game 3 swing games in series, always a game 3. Let's see how this one plays out. Boozer goes right side to Deng, who knocks down the game's first shot.
Now, that was a beautiful play. They ran a down screen for Deng on the right side, and his man tried to cheat by double spacing. Deng just flipped right off into the corner.
There's Teague, the second-year man out of Wake Forest, in for the injured Kirk Hinrich, and what a job he's done at the point. Joe Johnson going one-on-one, takes a tough shot and misses, and Larry Drew is frustrated with shot selection in game 2. Rose all the way home for the Bulls.
Well, we know that Tom Thibodeau said today, we got to get some easy baskets, and you're absolutely right. I like the timeout.
I love it.
Because there was no movement. It was a one-on-one from the top of the circle, and you end up with a long jump shot, which ignites the fast break and that's going to play right into the Chicago game plan. Easy baskets on the break and in second shot attempts.
Early timeout, 49 seconds in. Pregame. Then the Heat Celtics over on ABC with the pregame at 8. Lisa Salters, that was the quickest timeout of these playoffs.
Wow, and Mike, Larry Drew really let his guys have it. He was upset about their defensive efforts. He said, guys, look, we talked about this. We cannot play like that. He said, we played 49 seconds, and we've already given them life. We've got to play better than that.
Hubie, you like a timeout that early?
Well, I would do it, mainly because he didn't like the soft transition, and along with the fact there was no offensive rebound.
Horford inside, no. Rebounded by Boozer for Chicago. Rose looks a little quicker here tonight, and that's relative because he's so fast, but that hop in his step looks to be there early on.
Well, I liked what Jeff Teague said was today, and that is that he's so strong, he's so quick, and he's always in the lane. And that's exactly right. Because on the fast break, the transition game, there are very few people in basketball who can stay with it.
Derrick Rose to the line. It's a great sign for our friends in Chicago. Derrick Rose was getting there on a regular basis in the first 3 games against the Pacers. Hurt his ankle, quarter 1, game 4. Only 4 free throw attempts, and you see since then, 7, 0, and 6.
Well, I like what he said to Lisa, and that was the fact that he was concerned about getting up high in traffic in the paint and landing, in an awkward way. So, he's being preventive. But I like in the open court, though, he's dominating here in the first couple of minutes of the game.
Man standing until there's a basket scored, and we have a defensive 3 seconds called on the Bulls, and it'll be a free throw coming. There is the NBA Coach of the Year in his first year as a head coach, 53-year-old Tom Thibodeau. Replaced Vinny Del Negro. Vinny had this team exactly 500, 41-41. And Thibs came in and 21 more wins, 62-20.
Well, they're just an outstanding defensive team, and they proved it during the long haul by winning the 62 games. They are the #1 rebounding team in the league, and they are very aggressive on the offensive glass, especially Joakim Noah, who's averaging 4 a game in this series.
Josh Smith, we said it earlier, he's hit 1 shot outside of 5 feet the entire series. Go to the basket is the message from his coach, and it's a shot clock violation as the Bulls, who play good defense, did right there.
With the athleticism of Josh Smith, you would think that he could blow by Boozer. Boozer, we know, is playing with a turf toe, and his agility and the fact of quickness defensively is now being negated. So Josh Smith should be able to take care of him down in the low post area.
Great start here for the Bulls. Off the curl, here is Dang. Now Horford back and numbers the other way for the Hawks. Here's Williams all the way.
Well, this is a situation. The Hawks play well in this building. They're very front runners because of the crowd, and then also if they make them threes, if they make their threes and get out on the break, they play much better at the defensive end.
They've been going under all those pick and rolls with Rose. They rotated over to Keith Bogans, who knocks down a 3, and that is what Bogans is there to do. He hit 93 pointers in the regular season, only hit 34 2-point shots.
Like in this series, he's shooting extremely well. He's taking 3 a game. And when you put Korver at that position, he takes 3. And then you also have Brewer. Between those 3 guys, they launch a lot of threes. Good ball movement, and that was after they ran a number of set screens. And then what they'll do, if they have nothing, they'll reverse it to the opposite side.
First foul on Bogans. Teague uses his speed. Got the bang, got the bucket. No other foul.
This young guy is playing great basketball. Not only is he only with 1 turnover in the first 2 games, and that's really hard to do when you're playing 44 minutes, but that's what he can do. He can blow by his man, and Rose is going to have to play defense and really get after this young guy.
Give you a little of that Rajon Rondo long arm, show the ball, bring it back on that basket. Carlos Boozer rolling and scores with the left hand. Boozer, who averaged 17 points a game, was booed in Chicago at the 4 of 12 performance for 8 points in game 2. It's a big contract the guy has. They expect a lot from him. Smith continues to struggle. Listen to the crowd. Dialed in. They fully know this guy has not made a thing outside of 5 feet in 2 games, and they're imploring him to go in. He's got it after the turnover from Boozer. And it's Teague. Nice finish by Jeff Teague.
See, they have a little advantage there with Smith handling.
Bogan's out of the corner. Joe Johnson, but Noah was back for Chicago, so no advantage. Teague again. How about Jeff Teague? What a start. 3 for 3, replacing the injured Kirk Heinrich.
I like the fact that he's getting all of this, moving without the ball, filling the lanes on the break, Mike.
And his face is the picture of confidence as he goes back and guards Derrick Rose. Rose let him recover and drive by, and the MVP's off to a good start as well.
Now, if you go under the screen with Rose, he'll pull up and shoot the shot. That's where he has been taking in games 1 and 2, 7-3. Now, if you follow him over the top, it's dangerous because that 15-foot shot will open up.
Jeff Teague, second year out of Wake Forest, most of his time on the bench, getting the opportunity and excelling here in this series for the Hawks.
Now, he just left Rose. He beat him over the top of the screen, turned the corner. And you can see this young guy, he can open up and shift gears.
Boozer fading away, knocks it down. And a bunch of Chicago fans who have migrated down here to the south cheer it along. The Bulls 6 of 8 from the field in the first 5 minutes. Al Horford. Noah, his former Florida teammate, challenged that, and on the discard, Smith hit the deck hard, shake it up as the foul is called on Boozer.
Well, there's a situation where Teague ran a screen and roll, except Horford goes back. There's a bad push right there. That was an easy call for Boozer. Main thing that we're seeing here, Teague is losing Rose on all of these screens. Now what has to happen, if it's Horford or Smith, come on, you've got to create the passing lane. And it doesn't have to be a jump shot. Come on, you can roll to the basket and get that high percentage shot.
The man second in the league in bench scoring this year, Jamal Crawford, checks in for the Hawks, who turn it over, and it will go back with the Bulls. We mentioned Teague. He played only 10 minutes in the series against Orlando, the series where the 5-seeded Hawks knocked out the 4-seeded Magic. A guy who everyone has been asking, when is he going to get his opportunity, is getting it here against the MVP of the league and holding his own, but that guy still has the upper hand. 9 for Rose to start.
Well, he's playing with a lot of confidence, and it doesn't matter because he'll continue to take that shot. He's not bashful this year, and that's going to put the pressure on Teague now. He laid off him, but now that he made it, trouble.
Joe Johnson, who averaged 18 a game in the regular season and in that first-round series against Orlando, tightens it back to 4.
Now, with Crawford in the game, Joe Johnson's at small forward.
Yep.
He and Deng will match up.
Rose, a floater!
Oh!
It was so high and soft, he was there to catch it when it came out of the goal.
Hey, we're talking. That was really high in the air.
Both Rose and Teague, 4 of 4 from the field. You think it's not becoming a point guard league? Horford on his former Florida teammate. What a pass to Teague!
Well, right now, when you're looking at the front court guys, anytime that Horford has the ball, he is a great passer. And in this series, he's been one of the top assist players for Atlanta.
Has led the Hawks, Hubie, with 10 assists in the first 2 games.
Nice.
Rose and Boozer, a little screen and roll to perfection. Great offensive execution in this first quarter.
See, if you follow, though, Mike, the guy who's playing the screener's got to help, and that's what happened. As soon as they saw it go, you roll right to the basket because you know that Rose will make the pass.
Whistle inside, the foul on the Bulls.
Now this is just a beautiful release down in traffic. Now watch this pass. So anytime that your man turns his head, Derrick Rose turned his head and he realized, if I'm going to turn my head, I have to have my forearm on my man so he cannot go back door.
There you see the point guard story. Rose is the MVP. Teague only scored in double figures 12 times the entire season and is here 7 minutes into this one. Dang giving Johnson no airspace. Teague that time denied by Rose. Hawks bench wanted the foul. Still plenty of time for the Bulls. Boozer blocked by Smith, a terrific shot blocker. Back at him again, picked up his second foul.
Now Josh Smith, even though he's shooting poorly in this series, only 28%, he's averaging 4 blocks a game as well as 2 steals. So he's being very active at the defensive end of the floor.
Keith Bogans got his second foul a moment ago, now Boozer has 2. And you might be thinking you're watching as that play happened. He's inside of that defensive circle. Can you still take a charge in there? Yes, you can when you're the primary defender, which is exactly what Smith was in that sequence. That play starting in the lower defensive box erases all of the circle rules.
Good defense that time by Noah. He was up challenging that shot. Look at this.
And Noah set the great screen, Hubie, to send Rose home.
See, that's that burst of speed, and then he plays the board so well. Such a soft shot, Mike, when he's going at that speed.
Very hectic pace.
Yes, it is.
And a high-scoring quarter for the Bulls. And listen to the Chicago fans chanting MVP and getting booed by the Atlanta fans. Josh Smith goes inside on Taj Gibson, who came in after Boozer picked up 2.
Now Gibson is a good matchup for him. Gibson, an excellent rebounder and a solid shot blocker. Big thing for him now is just make him shoot over.
Did you see the move by the MVP? What a play by Rose.
Now if you doubt his quickness or you doubt his ball handling ability, you just saw it right there. They had absolutely nothing. The defense was perfectly aligned and he negated it.
Competing chance of MVP, and let's go Hawks. Baseline move by Horford, nice blocked by Taj Gibson. And here goes Rose one more time, gonna launch. Tied up, jumping along, it'll be a jump ball with Brewer and Josh Smith on the other side of this timeout. How about these point guards? Jeff Teague gave you 5 of 6 for 11. But excuse me.
Just watch this guy as he steps in. You know, see how he cradles the ball? He protects the ball in case he gets bumped. But not only is this explosion, the strength. How about that crossover? And then I'm going down inside. And I don't think he's worried about that ankle tonight.
In the West, and then tomorrow afternoon, Memphis, Oklahoma City. The scene will shift to Tennessee. 5 Eastern, tip time here on ESPN. And then tomorrow night in primetime on your ABC station, Miami looks to go up 3 as that scene moves to Boston, with Shaquille O'Neal expected to make his playoff debut in that one. Winner there gets the winner of this series, all even at a game apiece. And Hubie, what a start for Derrick Rose, the MVP.
Well, when you talk about Derrick Rose right now, he's 6 for 7, 1 for 2 in threes, 2 for 2 on the line, and a couple assists, 15 points. But at the other end, I really like what Jeff Teague is doing. He's matching him, and he's making him work at the defensive end. Teague with 11 points. And between them, combined, they were 11 for 11.
Crawford uses the screen to knock it down. The screen was set by Zaza Pachulia, who checked in at that jump ball. 2 Bulls have 2 fouls. Their starters, Keith Bogans and Carlos Boozer. That's part of the reason we have Ronnie Brewer and Taj Gibson in red for Chicago. Noah met by Smith. Works around him. Josh gets the rebound.
I thought that he bellied up. He bellied up on Noah that time and used his strength.
And a clear path to the basket for Smith. That's 2 layups in a row.
Now, if you've not seen Josh Smith play, he'll do that. He'll take the ball off at one end and go right down the middle of the floor. That frees your guards to get up and run and fill the 2 outside lanes.
Pachulia set a nice screen on both baskets the last 2 trips. On release by Rose. Gibson inside. The Energizer bunny Noah. No. Gibson earns the foul. Hard working trip by the Bulls. Gets him to the line.
Now, we came on tonight and we said 2 things have got to happen for Atlanta if they're going to win this game. And that is that Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford get somewhere in the 40s and get their average. But the second thing is the defensive rebounding. Mainly because the Chicago Bulls are one of the best in the league in getting second chance points. They got 30 in games 1 and 2 combined. And you have to keep them off the glass, especially Noah and Gibson.
One more coming for Gibson. This series will continue with Game 4 in here in Atlanta on Sunday night. TNT will have that at 8 Eastern. Same true with Tuesday night's Game 5 in Chicago. Then we're, if necessary, for Games 6 and 7, which we'll have for you on ESPN for a Game 6. And a Game 7 would be a week from Sunday on TNT. Bulls over the limit. Minute 20 to go here in the first. Game 3 of the best of 7. Teague lost the handle, 5 to shoot. He's going to have to take it. What, another screen by Pachulia, but that one they say was illegal, and he's called for his second foul.
Now that time Teague got caught up in a little just too much dribbling down on the baseline, but nothing opened up. Now keep an eye on Pachulia right there. That's a moving screen, and not only a moving screen, but the forearm came up and caught the player right in the face.
And Mark Davis showed him as much with the signal with the forearm. Gibson misfires. Omer Ashik, who's just come in, keeps it alive with that rebound.
Hey, Ashik, Mike, takes up a lot of space. He's big. He's at least 275, 7 foot, and he loves the bang.
Rose used the screen from Ashik, and Derrick Rose has a 17-point first quarter.
If you're watching closely, see, anytime that T goes under that screen, Derrick pulls right up and shoots the shot. No hesitation.
Julia sizing up Ashik. And the foul is called. Rose has tied his career playoff high in a quarter with 17.
Now you're going to see it right there. If you get caught on or you try to go underneath, and if you do not get over the top, if that's your job to come over the top, then you need defensive help by the man who is playing the screener. And when that happens, the man who sets the screen is open on any type of a roll down the middle. And we've seen that time and again at the Chicago end.
One more coming for Pachulia. I find this hard to believe, and I'd have to go back and watch the play again, but they changed that foul away from Pachulia and gave it to Joe Johnson.
Wow.
The only thing I saw going on there was that screen by Pachulia, and I saw Mark Davis with the signal. In any case, officially in the book at the moment, Johnson has one, Pachulia has one. We'll see. 0.6 of a second the difference in the game in shot clock. Bulls leading by 6. Kyle Korver, the outstanding three-point shooter who struggled from 3 in game 2. He's in for the Bulls. Rose for 3. Taj Gibson, dang, beats the buzzer, but misses as the quarter comes to an end. It was a hot shooting start for Chicago. They shot 50% from the field, 7 of 10 for the youngest MVP in the history of the NBA. Chicago-born Derrick Rose has 17. Our series is even at a game apiece, and after one, the Bulls lead by 6.
Jeff Teague doing that he was able to hurt you guys?
I'm sorry?
What was Jeff Teague doing that he was able to hurt you guys?
Well, he's quick off the dribble, and we got to do a better job of giving support on our pick and roll defense. We're allowing him to get into the paint, and that's where he's causing all kinds of problems for us.
Now your guy, Derrick Rose, he was telling me before the game that he had been playing a little scared, didn't want to re-injure that ankle, wanted to stop being tentative. 17 points in that first quarter. What seems different about him tonight?
Well, we're playing with pace. We can make him miss and get the ball out quickly. He can attack, and we can play a lot faster, and it opens up the floor for him.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lisa.
Michael.
And our thanks, Lisa, to you and the coach of the year. 6 to shoot as the Hawks start the second quarter. Good defense by Ronnie Brewer. Forces the turnover. C.J. Watson, the backup point. In for Rose in the scorebook. And the Bulls lead by 8.
Mike, in that situation, 2-on-1, get out of the lane. Both guys come down on either side of the lane. The defender cannot play the two of you.
Watson in his 4th year out of Tennessee does a nice job off the bench spelling Rose. Taj Gibson was very active in his first 4 minutes in. Crawford on the drive over a Sheik who altered the release on that shot. It's out of bounds off the Bulls.
I'll tell you, Mike, you're right on that. Ashik was big. He's so big with long arms, he definitely changed the shot. And then also, you can see they're doubling off of Jeff Teague and saying, we'll double with your man, and if they kick out, don't run hard at him. Force him to take the shot. Make him make that jump shot.
The veteran, Jason Collins, 10th year out of Stanford, checks in for Zaza Pachulia. And during the first quarter break, the officials went over to the table and did correct the mistake at the table. That foul was on Pachulia late in the first, so Zaza does have 2. Joe Johnson has none. Teague missed the 3, and here's Luol Deng on the board for the Bulls.
From 15 feet down, Teague is a blur, and he can really score. He's got the floater. He plays the glass well. Now, outside of that, they'll make him before they'll guard him.
C.J. Watson with his 2nd straight field goal. Only averaged 5 points a game in the regular season and scored 17 points in the 5-game series win over Orlando.
Like, he's a shooter, though. He'll look to shoot the basketball, look to score.
It's a self-screen of your teammate as Collins ran into Marvin Williams, who was fouled by Taj Gibson. I want to come back to Jeff Teague here for a second, Hugh, because it's a really interesting story. You live down here, and every time we talk about the Hawks, I'd ask you, what's going on with Teague? Because he's a guy you thought had something special about him when he got his opportunities.
Well, when he first joined this team as a rookie, during the 8-game exhibition season, he was the 2nd leading scorer. And I would just follow the box scores, and I would always say, how come this guy's not getting time? All right. But when they say, okay, we're going to rotate 3 guards, and you had Bibby, Joe Johnson, and Jamal Crawford, then there is no time.
Right.
And then when you're a rookie like this, and when you do get a chance, you're pressing, and you might not be doing exactly everything that they want. And all coaches want you, when you get your chance, only to play perfect.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
Right? But now, when he got his chance on the biggest stage, the NBA playoffs, this young guy is terrific.
And he sits right next to Kirk Heinrich as he comes out on the bench, one of the voices in his ear trying to help him out. We've got a foul on Collins, who hit C.J. Watson up high. Kirk Heinrich and Nick Van Exel, one of the assistants for Atlanta, have been the voices trying to guide this youngster through his first playoff experience. And he said Heinrich has been invaluable. And Van Exel was the guy who kept his spirits up when he wasn't playing and said, wait for your opportunity. He got it, and he is shining in the first 2+ games. Crawford plays the point now, so he guards Watson, who lost Jamal, but missed the shot. Josh Smith the rebound. Smith, Horford, Jason Collins, a big group for the Hawks with Marvin Williams and Jamal Crawford.
Feeding the post is so necessary in today's game. But at the defensive end, Gibson is trying to front Horford every chance that he gets. But Horford is fighting him, and that time, a good pass, he would have had an offensive opportunity.
Smith guarded by Deng. Finds Marvin Williams, who's trying to find his game. Boy, is he struggling. There you go. Marvin knocks down the outside shot.
Well, coming in here in games 1 and 2, Williams and Josh Smith were shooting 27 and 28%. They have to improve.
Marvin Williams, number 2 overall pick in 2005, after an all-rookie type first year, has not lived up to that draft slot. Watson, the floater, got bumped. Collins called for the foul.
I like that. Now you could see that the roll guy was not open, mainly because he stepped back looking for a pick and pop. Well, it wasn't there, and I'm glad that Watson, he surveyed it and said, you know what, I've got a big guy on me. I'm going to take him off the dribble. Smart move.
As we watch Watson at the line, here's what Larry Drew told the Hawks at a timeout a moment ago.
Okay, we weathered the storm, but I got to get more effort. That's the bottom line. I got to get more effort. They're down there. I told you before the game, they are an effort team. And if you allow them to just run all over the place, get offensive rebounds, you're not going to give yourself much of a chance.
I like the approach that Drew takes with this Atlanta team. Because you can read some nights when they get into one-on-one mode, a lot of individually talented players, and in Game 2, their shot selection was bad, and Drew called a quick timeout, told him as much, and he did the same thing 49 seconds into Game 3.
Well, I like what he said right there. He was right on the money, because they cannot allow these guys to do two things: offensive rebounds and fast break baskets.
3 to shoot after Williams was blocked. Joe Johnson, again, a chic, alters the delivery.
Nice pass. Too bad.
It'll be Hawks ball off the Bulls last as we hit a timeout. 8:53 left here in the first half. Game 3. 4 Game 3s in the next 28 hours. Good NBA playoff action this Mother's Day weekend.
ESPN's present
97, one of the other playoff series between the Hawks and the Bulls, and you saw Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and the Bulls get a 197 win. Dikembe Mutombo block in there, but not enough. Game 1 won by Chicago. The Hawks then won Game 2 of that series, and that was their last win of any game in this round, the Eastern Conference semifinals, until Game 1 in Chicago earlier this week. They lost 15 in a row. But that game happening on May 6th back in 1997. Steve Smith for the Hawks. Dikembe Mutombo on that Atlanta team. Well, we have defensive 3 seconds on the Bulls for the second time. And technical foul. And in the building here tonight, Scottie Pippen, who is working on Bulls TV here at the end of the regular season. And there's Steve Smith, who's here with the NBA TV group, among others. Good collection of stars here tonight. Dr. J, Julius Erving on hand. And there's a guy who can add to the resume of great players in the building. There's Dr. J sitting right behind us. I went over to look at you during one of the comments you were making during the game. I looked over my shoulder. I saw Dr. J. I got 2 Hall of Famers in one shot here. Life is good. 4 to shoot for Joe Johnson. Good defense by the Bulls, but Johnson splits it to score for the second time tonight. He has 4.
Right now, they've got to get Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford going here. Right now, they're 3 for 6, but they only have 6 shot attempts and only 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Korver off the screen.
Nice.
Needs one. Got one. Kyle Korver, whose threes were not very good in Game 2, as he made only 1 of 5, was out early, shooting, and knocks one down to get himself going in Game 3. Smith takes the outside shot, and the fans groan every time he looks to shoot from the outside.
Well, it's a situation where he's not shooting extremely well, and the people would rather see him where he should be,
right,
down in the post area or at the foul line, so he can play power basketball with the guys that are attempting to guard him.
Sheik tried to throw it off from Smith,
Nice.
out of bounds, kept alive by Brewer, and scored by Gibson. Look at the second unit for the Bulls getting the job done.
Well, this unit, they can score the basketball. They did it during the 82 games, and they're doing it once again in the playoffs. Very productive group.
Largest lead of the night for Chicago. Marvin Williams to Al Horford.
Now he's rushing tonight.
Yes, he
He's
is.
having a tough
Yes, he
time
is.
with that jump shot looking.
C.J. Watson seeking.
Oh, nice
for
pass.
Gibson. Atlanta's going to need a timeout. The second unit for the Bulls. Getting the job done here.
Now that was just a great pass. Also, if you've been noticing, they're double teaming Joe Johnson and Crawford anytime they dribble the ball over half court, just to get them so that they'll give the ball up.
How about the bench mob for the Bulls, giving you 14 points, a lot of grit, a lot of effort. Gibson, Brewer, Ashik, Watson, Korver. On the sweet pass from Watson, finding Taj Gibson. Chicago has its largest lead here in Game 3. Williams missed on this end. Off Noah. Atlanta ball.
I like what Josh Smith does on this block. Just watch how he allows him to go down in and release the basketball. That was an excellent block. Now that's the second one for Josh in this first half. Just want to say C.J. Watson, 6 points and 2 assists. Between he and Derrick Rose, they had 23 points. I mean, you just think about 23, Mike, of the points already at the point guard position.
Teague off to the hot start has been better defended by the Bulls towards the end of the first. And here in the second, Williams knocks down Korver, didn't knock down the shot. And on the loose ball scramble, it's Joe Johnson. It's 3 for their 5-time All-Star.
Well, Joe Johnson is shooting incredibly in this 3-point game in this series. He's taken 4 a game and he's shooting 75%. That is a tremendous percentage, mainly because he struggled during the course of the year with the 3-ball.
Ronnie Brewer knocks down the wing jumper in his 5th year out of Arkansas. Played very well his first 4 years with Utah.
Well, they're getting good minutes out of that, at him at that small forward position, giving Deng a blow.
Johnson working on Brewer here, put up a tough shot, able to get the foul call. Second on the Bulls here in the quarter. And Hubie, this morning when we visited with Larry Drew, former player in the league for 11 years with 4 different teams, he talked about those loose balls, the 50-50 balls, if you will. They won them in game 1. Chicago won them in game 2, and he thought that would be key as a sign to see how his team was going to play tonight.
Well, when you play Chicago, you know they come with a lunch pail. Right? It's not going to be an easy night for you. Sure, they got, upset in game 1, but game 2 and in the first half of this game, they're on the offensive boards. They have 7 already. They're out on the fast break. They've scored 10 points on the break. And then the loose balls, they're hammering you. They're very physical when they go for anything that's loose.
Johnson splits the pair of free throws. Guy who signed the biggest financially free agent deal this year. That was the big question for the Hawks after last year. Were they going to bring this group of young players back intact? And they did. What a release by Rose over the shot blocking Smith.
Mike, he had to extend out on that left-handed baby hook shot. Now, that's what we say is one of his biggest pluses in his game. Yeah, he's quick and a great dribbler, but he plays the board as well as anyone.
Johnson's a tough shot. Well defended by Deng, but Joe Johnson getting a little roll going here.
Yeah, but you got to keep looking for him now because he'll continue to draw the double team. And when that happens, that opens up other people.
Boozer flashing inside. Smith there to meet him.
I tell you, Smith defensively is doing a terrific job.
This would be big for the Hawks. Johnson missed the 3.
See, with Joe Johnson on him right now, he knows he can take him or post up the mismatch with Teague.
Korver hit another one. 2 3-pointers for Kyle Korver, who shot an astonishing percentage from 3 last year, 53%, and was 17th in the league this year, 41%.
Mike, the Bulls bench has 19 points in this first half. That is an incredible stat already.
Just the fan soundtrack alone tells you Josh Smith's about to shoot from outside the paint.
Well, the fans are right, by the way.
Bang! Yeah. Bang!
See, and that's what happens. You shoot the shot, you're a low percentage shooter, the ball rebounds long, they fast break, they have a 4-on-3, and the guy in the corner is always going to be open.
The Bulls have hit 5 3-pointers here in this first half and have the biggest lead at 17. Last touch by Atlanta. It is Bulls
Joakim Noah did a fantastic job getting a piece of that. Here's Korver knocking it down. One of the best in the league. He's shooting it at 44% in the playoffs. Anytime that he catches the ball and you're with the opposing team, you know it's almost dead. He's really a great shooter, and it's a catch and shoot.
Derrick Rose again. Largest lead of the series for the Bulls. and they have blown the Hawks out of their own gym here in the ATL. Timeout Atlanta. Look at the Bulls off the bench. They are fired up. They look like the 62-win #1 seed in the NBA. They've scored 8 in a row, and Derrick Rose is 21. Series even at 1, and Chicago making a first-half statement here in Game 3. Game 2 at the United Center, both there and then before the day when he got the award. Very emotional as Derrick signaled out his mom and what she meant in his life.
I'm a guy, like I said, I don't show my feelings, I don't express my feelings, and I know it got to it when I start talking about it, because other than I love you, I really don't talk about my mom in front of her like that. So she's a strong lady, and like I said, I'm happy to have her in my life.
It is one of the unbreakable strong bonds, a single mom who raised a child, and Derrick Rose has that with his mom, Brenda, one of 4 children, and she called him Pooh since right after birth, and she and Derrick so proud as he got the award. Lisa Salters on Tuesday and Wednesday there in Chicago.
Hey, Mike, you know that Derrick Rose doesn't really say a whole lot. He was telling me about accepting the award that he was so nervous because he actually had to speak in front of the crowd at the arena. I said, but you play in front of them almost every night. He said, but then I'm balling. I don't really have to talk. He said, well, he's really glad what helped him out, the fact that about a month ago he had to speak at the Navy Pier in Chicago in front of President Obama for one of his re-election functions in front of a crowd, including the president. He said, since I got that done, I felt a lot better and more confident speaking in front of the crowd the other night.
Yeah, well, we know the president's love of basketball, and Derrick Rose, a native of Chicago, and Obama's ties back there, his re-election campaign headquartered out of there. So that's where they did the event to kick it off, and Rose was right there. Pair of turnovers, one on a block by Noah. That one off the Bulls, their 3rd turnover of the game.
Right now, the Atlanta Hawks front line, they're 4 for 17. That's less than 25%. Now just think about it. In games 1 and 2, they averaged 30%. Games 1 and 2, they averaged 30%. That has got to change if they're going to win this series. Come on, this front line, everybody's talking about everything else. The guards are shooting over 50%. The front line starters are not getting it done.
Teague has 6 field goals. Williams, Smith, and Horford combined have 4. Dang right-hand finish, no. Smith has been a presence on this end,
no, defensively, Josh Smith has done a good job. He's got 3 blocks. All right, once again, now he's in the middle of the break.
Beautiful.
After he makes something happen defensively, either a rebound, the block, or a steal, and he's being very creative. But the group, the 3 guys, we know they're very good shooters, but they've got to get involved.
Noah tipped it off the cylinder, no. Again, Smith pushing. Hawks trying to make it manageable. A 3 for Crawford. They are ice cold from 3. Joe Johnson met on the switch by Noah. Horford working inside over Deng. The good identification of the size exchange.
Well, they're getting there. They're working hard now. They just got some second chance opportunities. Good timeout by Thibodeau right now, just to slow it down now. And in the last 49 seconds, you want to talk about what you want to do here.
It's a 6-0 quick run for the Hawks. They've taken the margin down to 13.
Our front court guys, our movement, and then our three-point ball has been excellent in this first half.
Chicago 5 of 9 shooting threes.
This is what they wanted right there.
Korver off the curl, knocks down his 3rd outside shot. That's just a 2.
The best offenses start one way, bring the ball back, and you could see it. Korver came off of 2 screens. We call that staggered screen. Beautiful.
Great dribble by Crawford attacking Noah to score. 56-43, Hannah Storm. Jalen Rose, Hall of Famer Chris Mullin standing by. Coming up here at halftime.
Now, once you shoot the basketball, Chicago's got to react defensively. Atlanta's going to have time.
Toyota halftime show with Hannah, Jalen, and Mully coming up. Here's Deng off the mark. Chance here for the Hawks in this last possession to take it to that 10-point number. Rose defending Crawford aggressively. 2 to shoot. He fires. Halftime. Rose injured his finger. Rose in diving for that. jammed or injured his right finger, already with the left ankle injury. A technical foul call on Jamal Crawford as we watch Rose go back with that finger injury at halftime. Crawford wanted a foul call, didn't get it, he got a T. And Lisa's there with Derrick Rose. Lisa?
Thank you, Mike. Derrick, what happened on that?
Finger, pinky, but I'm fine. They'll be good in the second half.
You always say you're fine.
I'm good. I got to fight. There's no excuses right now.
Well, you were telling me before the game about the ankle being a little mental. Didn't look mental out there. What was different tonight? What's different tonight so far?
Just playing with an edge. Getting back. They're going under screens. That's something I've been working on the whole year. They're shooting jump shots and trying to get to the hole. And they give me everything I want now.
Thank you.
All right, go get that finger checked on. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine. Sure. 21 points, 9 of 14 from the field. And the technical called at the end of the half on Crawford will be shot when we come to start the third quarter.
Well, I think Crawford had something really, and he was correct because he definitely gets hit on his shot.
At the half, the Bulls lead 56-43. Hannah, Jalen, and Mullen, and Chris Mullen. Toyota halftime show coming up after this. From Atlanta, our telecast of the NBA playoffs presented in 3D by Sony. The Bulls lead by 13 at the break. Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown. We're going to take a look at tonight's Weight Watchers. First half stats. What is shrinking? What is growing? 5 of 9, the Bulls from behind the line, shooting 52%, and the bench points very big, 21-6. Hubie's pointed out the rebounding edge from Game 2. It's +8 here in Game 3. Going to take a look at tonight's Miller Lite man-up moment, and the man this year in the NBA, man up in the first half, MVP Derrick Rose.
Well, he's just been a bust of energy. Now, right here, you're going to see 4 guys have an opportunity to play him. Not only the quickness, but the explosion at the end. Now, this time, you're going to see the high screen, and now, instead of going left, he gives you the fake. Now the floater. Look at the height of that floater. Just amazing. He plays the board, and then he has that floater. Now here, this is an explosion with the finish with the left-handed baby. Now watch this. Protect the basketball, play the glass beautifully. Soft touch. Now you can see Game 1, 24-10. Game 2, 25-10. He already has 21 with the 3 assists. Now Atlanta, now Jeff Teague is doing an excellent job for them. What they need is Smith and Horford to step up here. They are 4 for 14. And we told you that Williams is in that same category. The front court must help out the guards. The 3 guards are shooting over 50%, but they've got to get some production from the front court people.
Jamal Crawford picked up a tee at the end of the first half. Derrick Rose starts this half, shooting the tee and making it, so the lead is 14. And here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Mike. Well, Larry Drew said his message to his team at halftime was simple. We've got to play with more energy, more effort. He said there was absolutely no physicality in that first half. He said of all of our starters, only one guy had a personal foul, and that was Jeff Teague. He had just 1. He said if you were not fouling anybody, we're not really working.
Lisa, I looked at our veteran stat man, the great Marty Aronoff, and I said the same thing. I said, they have 5 fouls in that first half. They better be more aggressive against the Bulls shooting over 50%.
That's right. You got to protect your paint, and you have to protect the defensive board, and that's where the physical contact comes in. Now, if you're going to shade Joe Johnson to an alley to give him a shot like he just had, you know, he's going to make you pay for it because he'll get a high percentage shot in the lane.
Rose showing no bandaging on that hand that he hurt earlier. Proves he is absolutely fine. Knocks down a 3, and the Chicago lead is 17.
He's 2 for 4 tonight. Remember we told you now he's averaging 7 a game in games 1 and 2. Unfortunately, though, he was only shooting 20%. Not tonight.
Marvin Williams on the take, knocks that one down to give Williams 8 points, which is much better than his Game 2 performance when Williams had just 4. He's got 9 points in the first 2 games, 8 here tonight.
The Chicago defense in the first half, Mike, only giving up 43 points. That's their style.
Bulls trying to get home court back after the Hawks won Game 1 at the United Center. Bogans getting knocked out of bounds, knocks down a 3. And what a 3-point shooting show for Chicago.
Mike, that's his game. That's where he's supposed to be. Get in the corner. After all the movement and everything, they double team, we kick it to you in the corner.
7 of 11 shooting threes. That's not a strength of this Bulls team. They were middle of the pack this year in three-point percentage. 2 to shoot for Teague, guarded by Deng, and a nice release by Teague. Someone told us this morning that Teague, I think it was Larry Drew, Teague has a similar game to Tony Parker. Not comparing the two, but the ability to make that high release and floater in the lane.
Well, I like as soon as he saw that he had a mismatch, that he had a power forward on him, he backed out and then attacked. That's smart basketball.
Marvin Williams takes the foul outside on Deng. So it's the first front court foul of the night for the Hawks.
See, right now, watch the switch. He realizes it, back it up, let everybody space out. Now, if they double team, kick out. If not, continue to the rim. He reads well, Mike, down in that painted area.
So is this guy. Rose. Rebound by Horford. Can he get on track? 2 of 8. And a plus-minus of -17. Sometimes that stat is misleading, but not tonight. There you go.
Like you always say, when you're having a tough night, will you please get closer to the basket? Either in a post-up or off the dribble. Get down, reduce the distance that you take the shot.
After opening 0 of 6, Horford has hit his last 3. Boozer off the mark. Josh Smith goes up to get it for Atlanta. Josh running inside with a left-hand shot. Timeout, Chicago.
Well, I like what Tibbs is doing here. He's trying to keep the tempo, take the crowd out of it now, call a timeout, and let's talk about why they made a spurt. This is just a back down, and Boozer was up on there. Good pressure, nice release. And this is a strong move by Josh Smith.
Nice finish, too. 12-point game here in Atlanta.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by the 2011 Sierra from GMC, the best Sierra ever. And Warner Brothers Pictures' Something Borrowed, now playing in theaters everywhere.
To the communities that we live and play in, because we were once these kids, to be able to touch lives and get out there and make a difference means a lot to all of us. That means the world to kids. You know, that little small effect can last them a lifetime. I am Jamal Crawford of the Atlanta Hawks. On behalf of my teammates and the Hawks organization, enjoy the rest of the game.
Going to need him in the second half as we look at tonight's Buick Regal game track, Game 3 of this Eastern Conference semifinal. Bulls had a 6-point lead after a very entertaining, fast-paced first quarter. Then Chicago had a big run in the second, extended the lead to as big as 19. Atlanta's come back, UB scoring the last 6 points to tighten it to 12. Derrick Rose bounced it off the knee of Noah. It's 4-on-3 Atlanta. Williams couldn't catch from Smith. Down 12, you cannot blow those opportunities.
Yeah, you have to like what happened, though, because 3 baskets have been scored by Williams, Smith, and Horford, your front court people. And we said that if they get it going, Atlanta can step up here and cut the lead.
Good deflection by Joe Johnson, 7 to shoot. This is the end, too, Hubie, because Chicago is shooting over 50% from the field.
Yeah, right now you saw good deflections, Mike, on the last 2 possessions. And that's all you're asking. You're asking for your guys to dig in here, match the physical effort that Chicago is doing at their defensive end. Nice.
Good hands by Teague. Rose kept it alive into the shot clock. Noah the rebound, and he put it in. Nobody had a body on Mr. Energy, Joakim Noah.
Well, and you know, coming in, Mike, he's averaging 4 offensive rebounds in this series, and already that was his 6th offensive board. Josh Smith never put a body on him. He had inside position.
Back-to-back little plays. 4-on-2 for the Hawks. They don't convert. Offensive rebound given up there, and the Bulls convert. There's Smith again from the outside.
Well, they'll let him be out there all night. He's 3 for 8, and he's missed every single one of the long shots outside of 17, 18 feet.
And when the home fans are getting on you pre-shot, it has to affect your psyche. Off the curl, Bogans misfired. There's Joe Johnson off the wing, stopped by Bogans.
Well, anytime that they get out in the open court, they've been successful.
Johnson, good move, but he couldn't finish. And Boozer's got the rebound for Chicago. 26-15. Bulls a very good road team this year, backing up their great home record of 36-5, all led by that guy, Derrick Rose.
Now, he got hammered on that shot. You can see it. Right? He's upper body strength. He's so strong when he goes down inside there, and then the explosion.
Rose, 11 of 18 in the game, 27 points. Josh Smith comes across the lane and scores again from in close.
Yeah, and Joe Johnson is making a lot of things happen here. You know, in the second quarter and now in the third. He's alive offensively because he's getting a half a step on Bogans, and it's forcing the defense of Chicago to convert.
Rose tied up by T, wanted the call from Greg Willard, and the fans want a technical foul on Rose for his demonstrative reaction.
Well, Chicago has plenty of time here. It's a good move. You can see the hand go out by Rose. He feels that T got him with that left hand underneath. Plenty of time here once you get it in.
Noah, the cutting Rose, finishes over Smith. 29 for Derrick.
Now that was beautiful. A great pass by Noah, and then a terrific backdoor move by Rose.
Joakim Noah has 3 assists here tonight, 7 in the first 2.5 games of this best of 7. Josh Smith denied inside by Deng, who's
well, now Atlanta's starting to play team basketball 2-on-2, making the correct pass and then a strong move. Now, just watch this here. A great backdoor move. See, they caught Teague looking for where the basketball was. If you're going to look, you better have a forearm on your offensive man so that if he goes backdoor, you can move him with that forearm. There was daylight there. Rose is gone. Great pass, though, by Noah. Right on the money.
One more coming for Smith. Need to watch the matchup with Joakim Noah and Al Horford of Atlanta. As most of you know, teammates on the national championship team at the University of Florida. Both were there for 3 years. Good friends, common bond of very accomplished dads who were terrific athletes. And Yannick Noah, the Hall of Fame tennis player. Tito Horford, who played in the NBA. 2 guys who are good friends going head-to-head in this playoff series. Oh, the basket. Yes. Gonna go the other way. Offensive foul call.
I'll tell you what, though. We should show that again. All right. I mean, the fact that Boozer was up there that high over Josh Smith. Okay, now, it was the right call, no doubt about it. The forearm goes out, and you're going to see him move Smith right there. Now, Josh Smith already has 3 blocks. Without that forearm, maybe it could have been 4.
But good to see Boozer with that toe injury for both fans.
Yes, right. That was he got up there.
Smith inside gets it. 13-point game.
You play down inside of 15 feet, they can't guard you. Mainly because Boozer has a turf toe. He's a half a step slow. You can take him anytime he's matched up.
Luol Deng missed the 3. Is this the push for the Hawks? T3. A 50-50 ball won by the Bulls, and Rose
out here,
who accelerates. And a foul is called.
Now that was a 1-on-3. There were 3 white shirts back, but he cradles the ball. He protects the basketball. When we give it to you, just watch how he protects it. Because once he explodes now, he'll come back with control. Now right here, now watch, see how he cradles it? Now he's going to go up and decide how he's going to release the ball. Now that was very difficult. You know, the degree of difficulty was off the chart on that. But usually he will get himself when he faces, and he'll play the board with a soft touch.
30 points for Derrick Rose. He did so much this year.
Yes.
3,000 minutes, 2,000 points, almost 1,600 shots. I'm leaving out the 500-plus free throw attempts. He put a lot of mileage on these very young, very talented legs. The question is, can he continue to carry them in these very tough minutes of playoff games?
Yeah, but you know, Mike, the thing that's in their favor is the day off in between games. And then if you win a series quick 4-1, even 4-2. You get those extra days where you can rest. Nice steal.
Tank looks pretty full right now. Look at Rose. That's impossible to finish. It's no basket on Boozer. You have a pre-shot foul before Carlos got up in the air.
Now this is Chicago at their best. You get the deflection steal, and now watch. You're going to see 4 red shirts come in here. Now, even though he misses the shot, watch what you have. You have 2 and then a backup. You have 3 red shirts there following this shot. So if they did not call a foul, all right, they would have scored the basket.
Free throw attempts 6 and 7 for Rose. We've mentioned youngest MVP in the NBA for perspective, Wayne Gretzky in hockey, the great Jim Brown in football, Vida Blue of the Oakland A's.
He's bringing back. Hey,
40 years ago, youngest in baseball, and Rose has that honor in basketball. Kind of a neat look at the youngest MVPs, and 2 of those guys,
hanging
obviously
out
the
with
best.
some pretty good people.
Yeah, 2 of those guys, the best of all time in their sports, many would
That's
say.
right.
In Gretzky and the Syracuse alum, Jim Brown.
Oh, you had to get that in there. I wish that you would take off those orange shoes, though.
Hey, you get Oscar Robertson in one game. I get Syracuse. We're even, right? The number is 16. Bulls have led by as many as 19.
Now just don't rush it. See, I like what they're doing. They're trapping Crawford at all times.
Ooh, Rose challenging Smith at the rim. Called for the foul.
Well, Rose is averaging a little under 2 shot blocks a game in this series. So not only is he scoring, getting assists, and then doing everything else for you, but he's also challenging in the shot blocking department. And I like what Josh Smith is doing here. He answered the call of the coaching staff at halftime.
Born in College Park, Georgia, just 10 minutes south of downtown Atlanta. Plays high school ball 25 minutes from here until he went to Oak Hill to close out his high school career. Oklahoma City, Memphis. It'll be a raucous FedEx Forum for Game 3 tomorrow, 5 Eastern on ESPN. Then Miami, Boston primetime on your ABC station at 8 Eastern time tomorrow. And while we have a second, I know the flooding that has bothered the Midwest is threatening Memphis and the downtown area of Memphis. Our thoughts with those folks. We're all excited about their Grizzlies, but have more important things to deal with as well. Rose missed. Noah rebound. Here comes Rose. Fed Taj Gibson, who wasn't ready for it.
Now, that was unofficially by me Noah's 7th offensive rebound. During this season, he had a couple of games of 9 offensive boards. There's so many guys up front are happy when they're playing either small forward, center forward. They're happy with a total of 9, never mind offensive glass. Because in the NBA, you got to take physical punishment to get the offensive board.
Crawford off the miss. Rose is 1-on-2 and circles back. Luol Deng with the secondary attack and one. Luol Deng. The Bulls are just quicker and they have a greater alertness to themselves here compared to Atlanta in this game.
Mike, Luol Deng is having a great series. First of all, the guy's playing 44 minutes. Then the fact he was averaging 18 points and 9 boards. He very quietly gives you the minutes, outstanding defense on the perimeter. Then he gets you high double figures as well as rebounds. And yet, he doesn't get the pub.
He doesn't. You're right. You're right.
You know, he's a very quiet player. But after you go Derrick Rose, this is the next guy offensively.
Well, Tom Thibodeau said earlier this year, he is our glue guy. It's hard to say for a guy who's 30th in the league in scoring, which is what Deng is. Josh
There you go.
with an attack at the rack.
That's right. And, you know, like everybody, whoa. He's supposed to do this because the guy is blessed with incredible athletic ability. First of all, he's left-handed. He's a legit 6'10" with long arms. Very powerful, and he's got a great spring.
Gibson pick and roll. Nice reverse and use of the rim by Taj Gibson. Starter last year, became a reserve this year. Teague over Noah again with that high release.
See, he's got to get more involved, Mike. After that first quarter, you know, he's kind of working everyone else, but he's also got to realize he can get to the hole because Derrick Rose can't give you 40-plus minutes of high energy at both ends.
Gibson past Smith, who fouls him. Josh getting beaten on the wing by Taj Gibson, who shoots free throws after this timeout. 2:24 to go. Where was that physical contact? Nah, that's the old YMCA. I'm going to just grab your jersey. Game 2 of the Lakers in Dallas coming up on this playoff doubleheader night on ESPN. National championships, and we're there the exact 3 years. Joakim Noah and Al Horford sharing a bond against each other.
You just have to embrace and accept the challenge with a guy like him. You know, he's the kind of guy that you love to have on your team, you hate to play against, but, you know, I've been on his side before, so I know how it is. And you can't get frustrated with that. That's the way that he plays, and, you know, I like the way that he plays like that. You know, I think he brings out the best in other people.
It is something he's done over the years. He gets under the skin of his opponent almost every night. And here in the series, it's odd to have that kind of guy, and he's one of your good friends. And here's what they've done here tonight. Not the best night for Horford. Noah, the offensive rebounding, huge in this game.
Well, he has 7 offensive boards, Mike, and then the fact that he also has 2 block shots. He's a feisty type of a guy who constantly is working. He's a good defender on the post person, or if you move outside. Because of his athleticism and quick feet, he can guard you wherever you play in the offensive end.
Omer Asik and Zaza Pachulia have checked in for each side. The bigs off the bench for Chicago and Atlanta. 7 to shoot for Crawford, who finds Smith. Contact with Taj Gibson, and the foul call.
Now we look at the score, and we see going to the line here, it's a -18 for Atlanta. We said in order for Atlanta to win, Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford had to come in with a combined in the 40s. Well, unfortunately, they're 6 for 16. And I like the defense that's being played by Chicago. Their game plan of double-teaming these guys when they're outside the three-point line and then getting back to their men, taking them out of their rhythm, has been definitely disruptive here tonight.
First free throw made in the last 4 attempted by Smith. Tomorrow, Oklahoma City, Memphis, game 3, even at a game apiece. 4:30 Eastern pregame. Heat Celtics, Miami up 2-0. Pregame 8 Eastern on your ABC station as the playoffs continue. The Lakers in Dallas, Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Heather Cox standing by in Dallas.
A little zone here, first time for Atlanta, playing 2-3 zone.
Very little of it in the series. Bogans, Pachulia, and that's one of the problems in the zone sometimes, is rebounding and awareness, and that was an easy offensive rebound.
Very good point, Mike. The big key here is you don't want to settle for jump shots. You're up, you have a good lead here by 17. You want to get the ball inside the painted area against the zone. Good ball movement here now, and then good spot up. Bad shot.
One to shoot. Shot clock violation. Gibson didn't realize that it hit the bottom of the backboard, not the rim.
So by going into the zone, you got them to do what you want. You got a turnover, and then you also get 2 bad shots.
Sellout crowd here in Atlanta, although a lot of Bulls fans have made their presence heard, especially when Derrick Rose has had his highlights. 32 for the MVP. Smith still has not hit a shot outside of 5 feet except for 1 in this series.
Like, they tried to get Crawford a shot. They gave him good screens, but when he came off, his man was right there.
Rose is short. T keeps it alive.
Look out here.
With Joe Johnson. Great defense by the Bulls. Luol Deng with a strong closeout. Changed the whole tenor of that trip.
In a 2-on-1, what are you running for a 3 for? You just go 2-on-1. Get a basket. We need a basket here if you're an Atlanta team, man. There it is. I'm telling you.
Everything. Yeah.
We have a lot of players in this league, and you just think about it. On one hand, can you name 5 guys in this league that play the board as well as this young guy for the variety of shots?
Foul to give for the Bulls. And Asik takes it, but Looks like Teague was in the act of shooting here, so he's going to come to the line.
Now this is just a very difficult shot. Now you can see Teague is right there. Look at that. Look at the release. But he plays the glass. It's the old story. If the angle, when you learn how to put the ball in the box above the rim and you learn how to play your angles, that takes shots. He takes 1,000 shots a day in the summer out there in California with that workout group. And we know that Westbrook and Kevin Love were in that group, and all three of them had terrific seasons this year. And you got to give them their double sessions out there, 1,000 shots, working on their games, learning how to play their position. I give Derrick Rose a ton of credit. He came back with a three-point shot this year after the first 2 years shooting in the low 20s, shot it up in the mid-30s this year for the season.
6.7 left.
Oh, you got plenty of time here.
Derek says, Taj Gibson, I want it. I got it. Good block by Smith.
Block.
End of the
Nice
quarter. Josh Smith on the defensive end has been very good here for the Hawks. Chicago led by 6 after 1, by 13 after 2. They have taken it out to a 17-point edge. Trying to take home court back in Game 3, best of 7, Eastern Conference semifinals.
Needed to play with more energy, more effort, more physicality. Did it get any better in the third quarter?
Not very much. We talked about it going into this series. The Chicago Bulls team is an energy and effort team. If you don't match it, you don't have a chance. Tonight we have not.
So what do you tell them for this fourth quarter, just to try to get yourselves back in?
Well, we just got to pick it up. We got to pick our energy and effort up. It's still a quarter basketball left. We're not going to throw the towel in.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate the candor of Larry Drew, the effort of his team in these first 3 quarters. Taj Gibson misses. Jeff Teague works with Jamal Crawford, Josh Smith, Zaza Pachulia, and Damian Wilkins has checked in for the first time in this game for the Hawks. Asik blocks Smith. Smith right back at Asik.
I like that. Anytime you get your shot block, you just don't die on the team. That was a good shot block, and then they go right back to you. And Josh Smith's inside power game, Mike, he's really picked it up. He now has 16 points, and he's come to life here in the second half.
C.J. Watson had a good first half. All alone is Gibson inside for the putback. That is offensive rebound number 16 for the Bulls tonight.
It's just killing them, Mike. It's just hurting them. Not only are they giving up the points, they're giving up the possessions, and they're giving up shot clock.
Crawford knocks down the outside shot, his third field goal here of the evening. 7 for Jamal, who scored 20 per game in the victory over Orlando in the first series. Then had 22 in Game 1, but struggled in the second game of the series, scoring just 11. Off the ball, foul.
When you're at home, playoff game, you're down double figures, especially like they were 17, 18. You give them, time, use the clock, and give them little short-term goals, and then try to get it down to like 8 or 9 with 6 minutes to go. Give yourself a chance. You don't try to get it all back at once. High percentage shots, tough defense, and hold the Bulls to 1 shot.
Bulls' second unit was terrific in the first half. C.J. Watson misses, rebound by Smith.
Watch out now, this guy's been a good playmaker in the middle of the floor.
Finds Damian Wilkins, the nephew of the Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins. Jeff Teague on Watson.
Nice.
Going to get himself to the line here.
We're all talking about young Teague, and we realize the amount of minutes that he has been playing. Coming in here at the games 1 and 2, he's averaging 42 minutes. And remember, he hardly played in round 1. So 35 minutes again. And he's playing the most valuable player and worrying about speed, quickness, transition, open court. But he can't rest. It's a terrible thing to say, because he knows that he can take Watson. Anytime that he gets picked up and he has an alley, he should probe and take it, force the double team, and then he either finishes or he gives it up for a high percentage shot.
And it's interesting, Hubie, as you make that observation, and he makes both free throws, Derrick Rose right back in for Watson. It's a 13-point game, but Tom Thibodeau's thinking what you were thinking. Larry Drew wants to get it down to 9 or 8. I got to get my guys here. I want to make sure we get this game 3.
Mike, when you're on the road, you know that they're doing that short-term stuff down at the other end, because all you got to do is get a couple of runs. And then when you know that you have Derrick Rose, remember, in game 1, 0 foul shot attempts. In game 2, 6 foul shot attempts. And then here tonight, Derrick has 7, and he's making himself felt here. No doubt about it. He's not worrying about body contact.
Foul on Pachulia was his 4th. You like Derrick Rose as the MVP? Score your Derrick Rose MVP gear now. NBAstore.com. Free shipping on any order over $85. NBAstore.com. One store, every team. Derrick Rose had 17 in the first, 13 in the third. He has 36 now for the game. His playoff career high is 39. 36, if memory serves me right, was the game 1 that he had in his very first playoff game against the Celtics. Damian Wilkins, he called glass. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he was lucky to knock that in. But I want to tell you, Luol Deng just chased Crawford from the right sideline to the left sideline, back behind the three-point line, off of the screen. He was all over.
And there's nothing to show for that except your coaches and your players know.
That's exactly right, Mike.
From the elbow, Rose. Noah tip. Poor offensive rebounding. The Hawks are getting outworked and embarrassed on the offensive glass by the Bulls here tonight.
Give them their due. They're very hard-working. That was an easy call. Korver right there wanted an offensive foul, but no way. He tried to front him, and he got caught on the high side.
Timeout with 8:57 to go, and the Bulls leading by 15, 86-71. Noah and Gibson together, they've got about 17 offensive rebounds in this game. Lamar Odom's a starter tonight because Ron Artest is suspended. It's a pivotal game 3. The Lakers down 2-0. It's next on ESPN.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way, and the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Eastern for the Buick Regal NBA Countdown. And Hubie and I will meet up with Heather Cox down there in Dallas for Game 4. Will it be 3-0 Dallas going for the sweep, or will it be 2-1? We'll find out next on ESPN. Al Horford needed that, Hubie, just his 4th field goal as Atlanta tries to mount one last push.
That was all by design, by Teague going over the top of the screen and then getting in the paint. The big man had to double team him, opened up Horford.
And a steal by Crawford.
Got to get a score here.
Teague finds Smith, tough catch. Did a nice job to avoid the turnover and find Horford.
Now that was a great feed. I tell you, Josh Smith with the 16 points, 11 rebounds. He's got 4 assists and 4 blocks.
And again, quick timeout to stem the tide of momentum by Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls as Atlanta comes out with a couple of back-to-back field goals in 45 seconds.
Now just watch the double team. See, as soon as the double team comes, the guy leaves you, always cut right down the middle and force the pass. Create the passing lane.
Tries to get the Mavs up 3-0 at home on the 2-time defending champion Lakers. Next on ESPN, Lakers, you look at trying to become the 4th team to lose their first 2 at home and come back and win a series. They did it back in the 60s. The Mavericks are part of it with Houston in 2005. Here in Atlanta, they sense this may be the one last window of opportunity for the Hawks to get Game 3. They've been down by as many as 19. They have not led. Rose has 36 here tonight. Rose has 38 here tonight.
His patience. They ran a screen 2 times for Korver on the left side. The Hawks switched out. He just took his time, read it, and then said, I'm going one-on-one.
Horford fouled by his former Florida teammate Noah. It's a pre-shot foul. Ronnie Garrettson had the whistle early. Side out, Hawks.
Now Derek has already looked on the left side over there twice for Korver. And this is just a great shot. No way. Jeff Teague cannot play him any better than that.
Bad pass by Smith.
Bad pass is right. Now, the Hawks only have 31 field goals. 22 of them were in the paint. Just think about that. Only 9 outside of the painted area.
Just the 7th turnover for Atlanta. Noah wasn't ready to shoot. Korver always is. Gonna chase it down. Smith got there, fouled by Korver.
Oh, bad foul.
Yep.
Bad foul. You hate those backcourt fouls, Mike.
And that's 4 team fouls on the Bulls. We always watch team fouls in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
So, and we got 7:18 to go.
Just 2 on Atlanta.
Oh,
Joe Johnson travels, absolutely.
Yeah, the defender played him perfectly. Forced Joe into a bad angle.
Rose turned away, set up again. For a career playoff high, 41 points for the MVP, Derrick Rose.
Mike, we said 7 threes a game in games 1 and 2, only shooting 20%. Tonight, 3 for 6. Having a great night.
You hear the MVP chant. This is a very transient city. So many folks move here. Great weather, great business. The double gets it out of the hands. It's a terrific defensive possession by arguably the best defensive team in the NBA this year, the Bulls.
Now that's the 2nd turnover there for Teague. This is just Derek at his best. No hesitation. You lay off of me. I'm coming out of a loose ball situation. Now look at that. 15 for 26 from the floor. And then the 3-point shooting. Getting to the line, 8 for 9. And he has 6 assists. And then, by the way, he only has 4 rebounds. So he better get up go in that area.
You know what? We may bring it up to him after the game.
Right.
Slacker.
He's working.
Luol Deng. Down 16 halfway through the 4th. Joe Johnson, deep 2. Rebound Noah.
Joe Johnson and Crawford have a total of 17 points. When they won game 1, they had 56. Game 2, 27. Tonight, just think about it, only 17 points between them. But more important, Mike, bad looks, Mike. They're not getting good looks.
Derrick Rose, most points he's had in his NBA career. 44 for Rose. Timeout, Hawks. All of you who said, boy, is he really the MVP? Is this guy the best player in the league? Can we have you out there, folks? Derrick Rose, highest scoring total of his career in a 1-all playoff series on the road. The Bulls by 19. Will Pau Gasol and the Lakers respond down 0-2. Game 3 is next from Dallas. 44 is not too shabby.
Mike, he's showing us the full package. There he goes. That's one of his 4 threes. Here on the drive, he's just been excellent, whether right or left. Backdoor Teague in that situation. Now watch how he plays the glass. That high release off balance. Now this is just, hey, I have nothing, athleticism. I'm going to out-jump you. Now just look at it. Once again, 27 shots for all those people who were complaining. But the field goals tonight have been outstanding. He's 16 for 27. Also, 8 for 9 on the line. And then, coming in, 5.5 turnovers a game. 11, he only has 2 turnovers tonight in all of that ball handling.
Horford misfires from the outside. Rebound by Noah. Joakim has 14, 8 of them offensive.
Mike, it still comes back to defense. The Hawks are sitting on 75.
Foul by Horford outside. 3rd team foul on Atlanta. This is an Atlanta team that has not scored a lot in the playoffs. In game 1 of each series, Orlando and Chicago, they scored 103. But in the other playoff games, I'm going to read you their point totals. 82, 88, 88, 76, 84, 73, and somewhere in that neighborhood again tonight. 3 threes for Korver tonight. He's hit 4 outside shots, and the Bulls tonight look like the team that won 62 and were the #1 seed in the NBA.
Now, the second unit, the bench guys have 32 points in this game. Oh, what a great block.
Noah stuffs Teague.
I like that. Back it out. No use rushing here. That's it. Get your spacing. Now they're running a double screen for Korver.
Crawford was waiting. Korver shoots anyway. That time he misfires. It's going to be Noah with a loose ball foul.
Well, Noah's upset, Mike. He only has 8 offensive boards, and he didn't get that one, all right? Now just watch this block. This is a strong move, and how's that for a clean block? Noah has 3 blocks. Now you're going to look at him, and people are going to say, gee, Noah only had 2 points last night. Was he doing anything? No. He only had 13 boards, 8 of them on offense. He had 3 assists, and then he had
now 3
block shots.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. Add those couple of boards, increase his total there. Josh Smith is at the line. We follow the Bulls' playoff run. The Sports Center segment just for Chicago. Same true for Dallas and Boston and Los Angeles. At those websites right there, your local ESPN sites. And yesterday, Cinco de Mayo, ESPN Deportes Los Angeles.com became the first ESPN local Spanish language site. You can check out the Laker action in Espanol on ESPN Deportes Los Angeles.com. Lakers Mavs next here on ESPN. Turnover as it falls off the hands of Korver.
Yeah, Kyle's all upset, mainly because he read his defender perfectly. His defender was shooting and double spacing, and he was going to fade. Unfortunately, his feet got tangled up there, and he missed that pass.
Well, Larry Drew, down 21, will wave the white flag and send in Josh Powell. Hilton Armstrong of the next dead ball. Damian Wilkins and Pop C will come in momentarily. There's Armstrong inside. Block 4 for Noah. Look at the Bulls' relentless defense, and the high-energy Chicago effort continues despite the foul.
Mike, you remember going back in that first quarter, we said, hey, Boozer got in foul trouble. Just watch Noah now. He got one. He gets another one. And then Gibson, when you talk about what Gibson has done in this game, he came in for Boozer. He's got 13 points, 10 rebounds in 21 minutes of play. Gave them great defense also.
Omer Asik comes in to replace Noah. Outstanding game.
What a game he played.
Yeah, for Joakim here. Yep. 15 rebounds, 2 points. And now,
how about the ovation?
Yeah, the Bulls fans were here. And I know, I'm sure there are a bunch of folks who are Bulls fans, whether they're sitting in Lincoln Park and watching in their condo, or they're up in the Gold Coast, or they're on Rush watching this one in a tavern, saying, hey, Thibodeau, get Rose out of the game. We've seen him turn his ankle twice already. Enough. Get him out. Foul call on the pass with 3:33 to go. We mentioned Rose's 44. There are all the makes he had. Oh, look at that, the right side there. All the non-X's, the X's and the misses, the gold circles, the makes. And how about the 5 at the rim? Hey, speaking of at the rim, we're going to tee up our next game. Did you see the shot chart from the first 2 Laker games?
No, come on. Now, you laid this on me this morning. It's a great point.
They're proving I have no life going through the shot chart from the first 2 Laker games as Dang takes a long shot, and Rose is right there for the rebound, and the shot clock reset. Kobe Bryant has not made a layup in the first 2 games of that Mavericks-Lakers series.
I know. They're going to have to go through the record books to ever see if that ever happened before with them.
2 straight games. Korver took an extra step off the turn. And we get a timeout. We'll probably see the end of Derrick Rose's night. He's going to check out and be done with one of the great Bulls playoff games. Not by Michael Jordan, And there's Kobe Bryant getting set for Lakers-Dallas Game 3 coming up next as Rose comes to the bench. With a huge ovation from the Chicago Partisans here in the crowd. 44 points. The last 40-plus playoff game for a Bull was Ben Gordon's 42 against the Celtics in 2009. That was that great 7-game opening round series that Rose announced himself in. And Marvin Williams, the only starter remaining on the floor for Atlanta, knocks down that shot.
Mike, when Atlanta Hawks coaches go back now and prepare for game 4, they've got to get this front line going. By that we mean Williams, Smith, and Horford. They've got to get better shots. They got to get better looks at the basket. And then also Crawford and Joe Johnson have got to get better shot attempts in their sweet spots. And that did not happen here this evening.
Palmed it, carrying violation, turned it over. It will be Hawks ball. So there you see the story. In the East, it is Chicago on their way to going up 2-1. And Boston will try to get that series to 2-1 tomorrow night on ABC. Lakers, Dallas next. You know the situation there. And Memphis won game 1 as Atlanta did on the road. So now they have home court advantage in that best of 7. Josh Powell, the 6th-year man of NC State, who won 2 title rings with the Lakers. And Pop C got the rebound, and he was fouled.
Now, Mike,
2:01.
At the beginning of this game, we said that 2 guys that got to score, Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford.
Right.
Now, we said that they had to come in with a plus 40 points. Game 1, 56, they win. Game 2, 27. In the second half, they had 1 field goal.
For both of them.
Yeah,
combined.
that's correct.
Wow.
Combined.
Wow.
Now, think about that a second. So give Chicago's defensive game plan. They did a terrific job with these guys. All of the guys that they were matched up with hustled, put them in bad situations, the double teaming, and you can see it right there. That has got to change if the Atlanta Hawks are going to win this series.
It's only 2-1, but those guys getting 19 points will not do it for them in Game 3 here on Sunday night. Pop C, rookie out of France, was taken with the 53rd overall pick of the 2010 draft, played in only 3 regular season games, played at the back end of Game 2 and seeing action here in Game 3. Potential to be a down-the-line, very rangy 6'7" point guard, or combo guard, if you will, for the Hawks.
What you're looking for here is just run the stuff. Run the game plan. Let me see what you can do. So in case we get an injury or guys foul out, that I'm comfortable playing you, but please do what we want. Don't go one-on-one and try to get your points. Second unit, the bench.
How good has this guy been in the 4th quarter?
Oh, come on.
His shots, those awkward releases that he practices so long, so often. Dirk Nowitzki's been great the first 2 games.
Well, the percentages are there, Mike, and then the rebounding. I like the fact that there are 3 big guys at the center and power forward position have neutralized the big 3 of the Lakers. Then Marion at the small forward, and then the point guards have been doing a great job against the Lakers for Dallas.
You see that play? C.J. Watson turned it over. Atlanta had a 2-on-1, and Watson's the one who saved the easy basket and comes away with the turnover. This was a Bulls team that was 2nd in the league in the regular season in points allowed, led the league in field goal and 3-point shooting percentage defense. And this is their best defensive effort in the playoffs so far.
Mike, during the year, they give up 91 a game.
Right.
In the playoffs, 88. I would think that the game plan is working.
Absolutely.
Because at this time, everybody will tell you, you got to defend and you have to take care of the defensive boards first before anything else. And this team has bought into it, and then they are fortunate to have a player like Derrick Rose who can then manufacture key points for you at the other end, especially with the shot clock down.
44 worth here tonight. Okay, it's only 1 game. You know, it doesn't matter if you lose it by 2 or by 25. You're at home. You have a chance to even the series. But the way that the Bulls beat Atlanta tonight is probably more troubling for the Hawks and their staff than anything else.
Yeah, but the Hawks in this building this year have lost 9 home games by over 13 points. So the fans in this building who come to regularly, they've seen this act.
You've seen this act.
That's exactly right. But they also have seen them then in the next game bounce back and win. And you say, wait a second, are these the same guys?
Yeah. It is a team that has a Sybil-like personality. You don't know which Hawks you will get from night to night. This one just to make the box score official. These last 2 minutes, Damian Wilkins hits the shot. The Bulls can run it out, and Chicago will win by 17. And they'll get home court back and have a chance to take a commanding 3-1 series lead in Game 4 Sunday night on TNT. Derrick Rose had 44, the 99. And the Bulls lead the series 2-1. Not a good, but a great game out of the league's MVP. His career high in any NBA game, regular or postseason. And here's Lisa with Derrick Rose.
Thank you, Mike. Derrick, excuse me. Derrick, what felt good? What felt good tonight?
I was just playing defense. Like I said, when we got our defense going, we can be very aggressive on both ends. It works in our way.
You were telling me before the game that you had to get over this mental hurdle of trusting that ankle. How were you able to do that?
I was waiting. I was just shooting the ball. They were going under screen, so I was driving to the hole, just trying to get myself going, and today was that day.
Congratulations on a career playoff high, 44 points.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations. Mike?
All right, Lisa, thank you. Derrick Rose in 27 shots each of the first 3 games. In Game 1, he had 24, Game 2, 25. And tonight, as mentioned, 44. Looking for key stats, the Bulls out-rebounded the Hawks by 13 and had 9 more offensive boards. Our final score tonight, Chicago 99, Atlanta 82. The Bulls lead the series 2-1. The Lakers and the Mavericks coming up momentarily with Hubie Brown and Lisa Salters, Mike Tirico, sending you to the studio. And here's Hannah Storm.